Okay, so you've put your sphere together and now you want to get to some fine tuning. We're doing a little bit of work on this, but not too much. One of the things that's nice to do, I have some scrap clay here and I put it in a Target bag. You can take a little chunk of clay and put it in a plastic bag. And then you can make like a little stand, right? I've just got this bag kind of wrapped up. I can sit on top of the bag to keep it sealed. And then you see, just made a nice little depression right here. And then I can set this right on top of that. Furthermore, this is dry enough to the point where when I set it down, it's not really making much of a flat spot, so to speak. Now this is the lid of a container, not my slip container. I need that lid to work. This is a different container that I had and I just cut it in half. This is what's called, in ceramics, you can buy these, but you can make them too. It's called a rib. In this case, it would be a plastic rib. So you can see, I can kind of work, right? I can kind of work this to kind of smooth away and fine tune this form that is a sphere. Now, you don't have to go too nuts, but we are trying to make, kind of a perfect-ish sphere, right? Doesn't have to be perfect, but take it as far as you want to. The other thing is maybe you don't want it to be smooth. Maybe you want to make a bunch of marks in it with the back of your fingernail that make it look like it's kind of got this cool texture, maybe some cross hatching. I don't know, totally up to you. But the form, we don't want like big indents here and there and everywhere. Pencil's a useful tool. What we can do with a pencil is ultimately, we're gonna need to put our initials on this. Right now it's too wet to put our initials, but I wanna make sure that you remember to do it, so I'm gonna show it. So look, see, I've put my initials RB on there. All right, then the other thing that you absolutely positively must remember to do, or these things will poof, they'll blow up in the kiln. They'll kind of, won't really blow up, they'll pop open. It's probably right here by my initial. I would take a little tiny nail or a needle and stick it in there so it just makes a little tiny hole. Maybe wiggle it around a little bit when you put it in there so the air from the inside can escape, right? If you don't do that, then what will happen is that air in here, when it gets hot, will expand when it's in the kiln, and this thing will pop apart, most likely at the seam where you put it together. So in the very end, when you're done, you must scratch your initials in, and before it gets bone dry, you want to put that little hole in the piece. It doesn't need to be big, just a small little hole, make sure. And if you do it once it's dried a bit, you'll actually be able to hear it. You'll stick the little nail in there or the big needle in there, and as you pull it out, you'll hear the air go, tss, right? Because as this has been drying, it's been shrinking. It's been compressing the air in there. So clean this sucker up. Get your initials on it. Get it how you want it. Let it dry a bit. Get your initials on it and get a little hole poked in it. And then we'll set it aside to dry nice and evenly. And then as we get through the rest of the parts of this assignment 1, we'll be dropping it off to be fired. All right? Okay.